Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Allie and I'm so grateful to be spending this precious time with you today. How are you? It's been a little chaotic here for me today, I have to admit, and I hope that you can forgive my kind of disheveled appearance. I have a hurt chicken that I've been tending to all day that is now in a crate, a small little cozy crate in my house. I'm only mentioning this, I guess, because I'm so tired and wanted to remain committed to bringing messages to you. And maybe you have your own chaos going on in your world and we're all in it together. I hope that you've been taking good, excellent care of yourself, actually. And I just wanted to do a check-in tonight to see what messages Spirit had for you. So I have no agenda. I have no idea what might come up, but I wanted to do a check-in either way. This was in a reading that I posted on the channel and not a personal reading that I did recently. It might have been, I don't know. It was one of the earlier ones, Scorpio, Sagittarius, or Capricorn, perhaps. I'm kind of leaning towards Scorpio or Sagittarius, but it's been a while, so I can't remember. Anyway, this song, this Nelly Furtado song, it's like, I'm like a bird, I want to fly away. I don't know where my home is. I don't know all the lyrics because it's just a song that I know from the radio. It's not anything that I have listened to for a long time, but it was going on and on and on in my head. And as I'm sitting here, I'm like, could I be channeling some energy from my bird Gemma, who's in a, God love it's in a crate right now? I don't think so. I think there is something about the energy that I'm channeling here where there's a sense of a longing for freedom. But yeah, let me go ahead and change the view and we'll pull some cards and we'll see what's actually going on. I am so just disheveled. My spouse's chair was in the shot a minute ago, I noticed. My water bottle is on the table. I don't think you care, but anyway, I guess it's just one of those readings. So maybe this is how you're feeling in your own life. Do things feel kind of jumbled and disheveled and frantic for you? Anyway, let's see, Spirit. What have you got? What have you got for us? What's the overall energy of the message that you're going to bring forward for us today? Please and thank you. Spirit, overall energy, please. Really? Okay. So at the bottom we have Two of Cups, collaboration, mutual understanding. Very interesting card. And then we have, oh, interesting. This came out in the reading last night. So maybe there's a continuation of that energy. 8 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, and the Devil. And I'm going to have to put a crystal on here. Maybe a couple crystals. Let's get a big crystal. Okay. Okay. I think we're covered up. That is a very explicit card. Interesting. That's a very interesting devil card, I'll say. I just don't know, what all can be shown here. So we're just going to be safe. Interesting. Yeah, I'm like a bird, I want to fly away. And then we have the devil here, which is, talks about bondage, literally. Feeling bound to something. Eight of Pentacles and Seven of Pentacles. Well, I actually kind of get the feeling that maybe you feel like you've gone as far as you can with something. You've done all that you can do in a situation, to the point that it almost feels like you're going backwards a little bit. Like you've taken it so far that it's backsliding a little, and now you're feeling stuck. That's how I read this energy. I'm going to use a different deck to get clear information. Oh, they actually want me to use a different tarot deck. All right. Can we have some clear information, Spirit? What is it that they feel stuck on? What do they feel bound to that they feel has gone as far as it can go? Yeah, like I think in your heart of hearts, whatever this is, there is no more growth to be had here. And now things are kind of, the image they're kind of giving me is, when a person's physical vessel passes away, there is no more growth to be done in their physical vessel. It starts to decay. And that's what I'm getting here with this situation. There is no surprise here seeing the Tower, the Moon, and the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like whatever this is, it feels like there's no way around it. It's going to be a Tower moment to end whatever this is in your life. And I think no matter how you look at it, there's a certain grief there, because I don't think you wish I think you wish it were different. I believe you sincerely wish that circumstances were different, that there was even a remote possibility for there to be growth in this situation. But I think you've seen as much as you can possibly see of this, and that you're going to have to kind of be the catalyst of that Tower moment for this situation. Didn't we say we had the Two of Cups? Because I was just sitting here in my mind going, but what is the situation? What is the situation? Well, the Two of Cups is a collaboration with someone, and this could be a deeply romantic collaboration or, business. I will say it's kind of giving the energy of an impending breakup. It definitely could be breaking up with a career. Certainly it could. I could see that. Something that you thought you would be doing forever, but it's not even really paying the bills anymore. I feel like you've taken as many workshops and extra classes. Oh, look, and this candle just went out. Yeah. I think you've taken this as far as it will go, and I think you're at the end, and there's a grief in that. Can we have specifics, please? Is this a relationship? Can we be more specific, please? Seven of Cups. I trust myself to see the truth. And interestingly, they had me put this on the 7. So 77 could be significant for someone, maybe a year. Or just a repeating number you see a lot. But Seven of Cups is also, sometimes they see that it's not only illusions or like castles in the sky, but that is kind of how I'm reading it right now, is like you had all these wishes and hopes and dreams and like castles in the sky that you imagined that this thing could be, this relationship could be. And now it's just taking from you. There could be a few areas in life where you're like, well, but it does this for me and it does this for me. But if you really were to weigh it on a scale, I think it would be painfully obvious that this thing is literally sucking the life force out of you, which is what's being depicted on this particular devil card, and is not giving you anything back in return except a feeling of feeling bound to something. I think it's as much of a tower moment for them as it is for you, because I truly believe you wish things were different. I think you have been putting on a mask and convincing yourself, but it has X, Y, and Z, or it's been this long, or, I do care about them, whatever. But you're literally having to put on a mask, because if you were to put down on paper, what does this job give back to me? It would be like, oh, well, they do this one thing, or they are this one thing to me, and then there's 99,000 other things that are taking from me. What you don't see coming, because I think you're so consumed with the idea of the grief that releasing this and unbinding yourself from this will cause you and them. What you don't see coming is the healing and the freedom. Okay, the song is making a lot more sense now. The freedom that you are going to feel for the first time in, 10 years, 13 years. Those are the numbers that are coming up for me here. And you can't see just how, you can't see yet just how free you are going to feel. It's going to help you feel younger and more vibrant and more excited about the future. But I really think you've got yourself convinced at the present moment that there's no way out. This does feel connected to the reading I posted yesterday. Or that came out the day before this one. It does feel connected to that. And I just saw 1444 on the timer on my computer. What else, Spirit? What else can you tell us about this situation, please? Whoa, I wish you could have seen that, because it just flew into my chest. And it's the Death card. I let go and I embrace new beginnings. I mean, that couldn't be any more on point. And they're having me put it on the Tower card. I let go and embrace new beginnings. This reading feels very clear to me. I don't think that makes it any less painful. But with the Judgment here at the deck, I mean, your soul is calling you. Your higher self is calling you. I think the call keeps getting louder. I have to let this go. This isn't working. This isn't going to work. This isn't going to get any better. I have to let it go. But still, you have to have compassion for yourself, because I think you could even be beating yourself up. You could even be beating yourself up about, why can't this be enough? Why can't I just let this be enough? It's not balanced, and it hasn't been balanced for a long time. And I think that the version of you, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? 2 of Pentacles and Justice. This reading couldn't be clearer. It could not be clearer. But I think I felt like what I was saying was really resonating. I'm trying to get myself back to it. The shock of those cards coming out kind of shook me. You have to have compassion for yourself, because I think you almost have yourself convinced, why can't this be enough? Why can't I let this go? Why can't I just accept this? And you're being really hard on yourself, because maybe, let's say this is a person that you've been in a long-term relationship with, and it's just not working, and hasn't been working, and it's not giving you really anything back, anything in return anymore. But you care about them. You love them. They're not a bad person. It's just that the version of you that fell in love with them was a version who hadn't fully loved themselves yet, chosen themselves, done the shadow work, realized their worth. And this person doesn't do those things. they're just not that kind of person. And there's no blame or shame in that, but you're not at the same frequency now. And I think you're kind of hoping that there's going to be some miracle and this person is going to have an epiphany, a realization, and they're going to be on this spiritual path and do this work on themselves or whatever, however that resonates for you. And, in your heart of hearts, you realize that they're just not that kind of person. And there's nothing wrong with that. This is their own personal journey, but you're just not aligned anymore. And the longer this goes on, the further it's going to decay and the more pain and suffering both of you will, unfortunately, I don't know, I'm having trouble picking my words, but the more pain and suffering you both will endure the longer this goes on. I can't say that I feel like they are unaware of this. I think they're aware. I also don't get the energy from this individual that they would ever be the one to pull away. Like, I think they're just hoping against hope that that you change, that you stop caring, or you go back to feeling the way you used to. But, I feel like I've been saying this a lot on the channel lately, of individuals having realization moments of like pulling back the curtain on the Wizard of Oz. And once you see the man behind the curtain, that's it. You can't go back. You're not going to go back to who you used to be because you've grown. But they have stayed the same. So you're just, with this Justice card, the scales are not balanced anymore. And these things happen. And this is okay. But I think what's being said here is what's not okay is when we stay in a place where we feel stuck because we're afraid of what it might take to really weigh those scales and then make a decision. This Two of Pentacles card says, I calmly make the best decision possible. I don't think this has to go down with a lot of fanfare or like fireworks in a negative sense. I don't think this has to go down fighting or any way like that. But I think you both have, I'm going to say it like this. I think you have given it your best shot. At the very least, I'm tapping in mostly to your energy if you're listening to this. And you have given it your best shot, and this is where things stand. And Spirit is basically laying it out for me as the reader very, very clearly. Things are not going to improve, and the best course of action is to go separate ways and allow each of you to have your own rebirth. There doesn't have to be any animosity here, but things can't stay the same, because if they stay the same with the Five of Pentacles, it's almost kind of being, I want to say, assured to you that things will likely go sour. And I don't think you want that. Man, when I sat down, I was not anticipating another, emotionally heavy reading. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I understand the gravity of, if this resonates for you, what you are going through right now. And it's not an easy decision and it's not an easy time. But you don't also have to run out and do it in the next hour. Unless you absolutely feel called. You don't have to do it tomorrow morning. I think saying I calmly make the best possible decision is interesting, considering the energy I've been feeling when I sat down to record and everything was kind of crazy and I feel disheveled and crazy. And maybe you have a lot of stuff going on in your life too. But I think they're saying, you know what the decision is. So take your time to, make a plan and get your ducks in order, and then follow that calling. This says, I look back with compassion for myself. And I really love that affirmation on the Judgment card. It's a little unusual in my opinion. And there's all these butterflies here because Spirit needs you to have compassion for yourself as you allow yourself to move on to the next chapter of your life, which is a total transformation for you to leave something that it feels like you've been connected to for so long and to maybe go solo. Is there any other information that you want to give us out of this deck, Spirit? Yeah, having empathy for yourself. Knight of Cups and Three of Pentacles. The Knight of Cups says, I know that the right person waits until I am ready. And then Three of Pentacles says, when I show my work, others give support. It did come out reversed, though. And I actually feel like that's pertinent. I think what this is saying is for some of you, you may feel more comfortable being in a relationship if that's what this is talking about for you. I don't want to write off the work thing because I think that's definitely possible, but overall it does feel more relationship oriented to me. So I'm just kind of going with those examples because that's what it feels a little bit more like in this reading. I think some of you are very used to being in a relationship, being with someone. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think it would feel like a breath of fresh air to be with someone on a similar level as you, given that you have been in such disproportionate levels with the person you've been with for so long. But I do get the feeling that Spirit is kind of asking if and when you decide to cut ties and be on your own, to allow yourself to be on your own for a little while. Longer. I mean, I don't feel like they're saying be single for 3 years. I just mean like maybe in the first 3 months you don't jump into a relationship. Maybe give yourself 6 months to a year just to see to get to know yourself outside of a partner. I think it would do so much because the right person is going to be there when you're ready. Spirit's going to make sure of that. I feel like this is already divinely planned for you, if I can be so bold to say that. It feels that way, certainly. But I do think with the Three of Pentacles reversed, it's again saying, we're not saying you're not to be in a relationship, but to give yourself some time. Give yourself some time to get to know yourself as this independent individual person separate from a relationship instead of immediately jumping into dating or moving in with a brand new person. I think your higher self wants that experience for you and for you to gain the knowledge that you would acquire by doing that. Yeah, okay, on the moon. Because I think you're very unaware of what that existence would be like, of really being on your own. In your own energy, coming home to your own house, doing things on your own, like not having somebody, I don't know, eating your food or leaving dirty clothes on the floor, making a mess and not cleaning it up. I don't know. I'm just naming random things. I don't think you know what it's like to, maybe this sounds corny, but it's what I'm getting, to date yourself. And I think you will inherently know when the time is right and you're ready to start putting yourself out there and meet someone new. But I do think I'm just getting this timeline of like, just give yourself 3 to 6 months, which doesn't sound like that long for me, but I understand if you're single, it could certainly feel like a long time. At least give yourself that amount of time. Okay. I want to see what's at the bottom of the deck here. Yeah. Temperance, being balanced. I find clarity through calm. And temperance also talks to me about, wish fulfillments. Having something come true for you. I'm literally seeing the Sewilo rune. I don't know if that's intentional in the artwork or not, but I'm seeing it here. And that's essentially the sun. That's joy, enlightenment, peace, happiness, clarity. And I think these are things that you will gain by allowing yourself that time. So let's go ahead and just get you, I don't know, 1 or 2 oracle cards before we close the reading. I know this is kind of another heavy one, and I hope you're doing okay. I hope that you're doing okay with these messages, because I think they're very needed. But I do understand the gravity of what we're talking about here too. So I don't want to gloss over that. Can we have 1 or 2 final cards to put a cap on this reading, please, Spirit? 2 of them flew out. How beautiful. Thank you so much, Spirit. All right. The first one is the air. Unseen potential and hesitation. Yeah. And the second one is the forgotten, missed opportunities and fear of failure. I kind of get twofold energy for this. The first one is perhaps it's been difficult for you to pull the trigger on ending this situation, because you do have a fear that what if they have an epiphany and change tomorrow, and then, we've ended things and the damage is done and things will never go back to the way they were before. And also a fear of not ending things and missing opportunities with a person or a life that feels much more fulfilling and aligned for you. So I do think there's a lot of fear of the unseen here, but there's also a definite recognition of the hesitation to go one way or the other, because your wishes here on the 7 of Cups, your wishes that this person could change, because I do think you love them. I don't think they're inherently a bad person, but I do think Spirit is saying they're not changing. This is who they are. I'm being called to look at the bottom of the deck, and it is the Pilgrim, opportunities and growth. And this is what they want for you. You deserve opportunities. You deserve growth, because you're not getting them where you are. And underneath that is the Sailor, new influences and wanderlust. So if you were on the fence before, I hope that this reading has brought you clarity and answered some questions about how to move forward, because I can feel your soul. I can feel how difficult it is to make this decision, how painful it is. This is not easy. But I can also see what your higher self is saying from the other side of this decision, and the beauty and the new and the growth and the excitement and the peace that you don't have right now is all that's waiting for you on the other side of kind of jumping out of this tower. Yeah. There's also something coming through here. I just want to say, don't worry about the financial side of this, because it's one of those situations, and I feel this very strongly, that once you leap, the universe then has the room to kind of help some miracles happen for you. I've had this happen in my own life. I won't waste your time with my own story, but I've literally had this happen in my own life where I had no idea what I was going to do, but I leaped anyway. I just saw 3113. I leaped anyway. And the next week, I was given a grant for $7,000. This was when I was in nursing school still. And I had zero recollection of signing up for this grant. I still don't remember signing up for this grant, but I won it. And it was at a time when I had no idea how I was going to pay my rent and get through nursing school. It was one of the most miraculous things that's ever happened in my life, at a time when I did one of the most scariest jumps out of a tower in a similar situation that I've ever done. So these things happen, and they're bringing that up to me to relate to you, that you taking the leap is what makes room for Spirit to help align things for you to get you through to the next chapter. So I know this is heavy. I know this is a lot. But I do hope this has brought you some clarity on something that you really needed clarity on. And I'm sending you so much love as you navigate this. If you want further information or just to dive deeper into your own personal story here, I would love to connect with you. You can find all that information at my website at theseaowl.com. It's also in the description box below. Please like, share, subscribe if you feel called. Leave a comment. I love to connect with you in that way as well. But more than anything, please take excellent care of yourself. You've got this. There's so many beautiful things waiting for you on the other side of this. And I love you so much. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.